Okay.
George Kilpatrick, inspiration for the nation, celebrating people we feel good about. We go beyond the badge. Once again, with the Syracuse Police Department, giving you an opportunity to meet the officers that you come into contact with, or hope not to come into contact with. Right. Sgt Carlos Romain is an officer with the Syracuse Police Department. Sergeant Romain, thanks for joining us on the program. And so tell me about your journey to becoming an officer with the SPD.
Well, basically, I came to Syracuse in 1981. I was originally in the Air Force, and I got out the Air Force in 81 because I wanted a place to settle down. And for some reason, when I got here in Syracuse, I got affiliated with the church in Syracuse, and I liked the church in Syracuse. And I decided, stay here and raise a family. And since 81 till now, I've been here. But right after I got out the Air Force, I needed something to do. And I have my master's degree, and I want to be a teacher. But for some reason, I didn't get hired as a teacher. So I applied for many different jobs, and Syracuse Police Department was one of them. And it came through at that time. And I took the Syracuse Police job, and I've been here 27 years. I'm now a sergeant. I work in the Ordinance Enforcement section. And in that capacity, I do a lot of things with the quality of life issues. I deal with all the type of ordinance complaints that they have, like noise ordinance, snow ordinance, the dumping, the abandoned vehicle, and just about every quality of life issue that you could think of in the city of Syracuse. And one of the ways I combat those problems is I listen to the people, and I try to take care of what they tell me the problem is. Now, when I'm done with police work, I do a lot of things in the community. I've been affiliated with the church for like 41 years in the city of Syracuse.
What church? You got to shout your church out, bro.
Holy Temple Church,
okay.
Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
And basically, when I joined the church there, pastored 3 churches, one in Syracuse, one in Utica, and one in Elmira. And he gave the Elmira church up. So he has 2 churches now in Syracuse and Utica. The father passed away, his son took over the church. I'm still affiliated with the church today. And one of the things we do in the community with the church is we do food giveaway, clothing giveaway, and we help a lot of people that come with different problems, drugs and moral problems. We help a lot of people get their life straightened and help them meet God. And also, I'm also involved with our community events and organization like 415, Camp 415, that's for the minority officers. I'm also involved in that. And with that, we're trying to bridge the gap with the community. We do park cleanups. We do cleanups of people's homes. We help the elderly people that can't take care of themselves. We help other officers that's injured, take care of their lawns and things like that. And we also try to show them a different side of police work where we're not always arresting people. We're actually part of the community, and we take the uniform off. We're just like the community. And I think a lot of times people look at the officers and they think that we're just there to arrest people. We're not. We're there to help people. And I think the majority of police officers, that's why I took this job, because I like helping people. And since I've been here, I've helped a lot of people in this job. Also, I also do some tutoring. I do them in all different, sometimes in the libraries and the community centers. I help people teach them math and things like that. And a lot of times, because of my capacity as an officer, I have to be careful, how I, get involved with the clientele, because not everyone is receptive to police work. But the people that know me and the people that know me in the community, they'll network, and I would, reach out and help them.
Yeah, let me go back to when you talked about the ordinance enforcement. So you're that knock on the door, right? Hey, we got to complain about the noise, the music is too loud. You're the first knock on the door, right? To ask somebody to turn it down. So do you go yourself? I mean, you probably went yourself, or is there a team of you that goes out to do that?
Originally, I was part of community policing. We had about 20 officers, but since then, with the realignment, right now I'm down to about 1 officer and about 9 CSO, that's community service officers, that I'm training right now, and they help me with that capacity. But most of the times, I'm the one that goes out. But right now, because there's only one of me, so I'm trying to reduplicate myself through the
Right.
CSOs. And the CSOs is being trained to do that.
And CSOs are also officers. They're sworn officers as well.
Yes, but they don't carry firearms.
Oh, okay. All right. And question for the other thing, I was when you talked about Camp 415, and you called them the minority police officers, you were probably there at the very beginning of that, I assume.
Absolutely. I was one of the founding fathers.
I was gonna say,
Three of them.
yeah, because when you talk about being with the police department 27 years, it's like you got to be one of the guys in the room that said we needed that. Why did you need Camp 415?
Well, Camp 415, I'm gonna give a shout out to two of the other founding founders. That's Virgil Hutchinson and Chief Fowler. We was having where
Now, he wasn't chief at the time, right?
he was chief at the time. No, we were all
That's
officers at the time.
right. He probably
we were
wanted to
all
start with, yeah.
Yeah, we were all officers at the time. And basically, it started when we was taking the test and not being promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt like the minority officer wasn't getting a fair shake. And at the same time, there was a amount of distrust between the police officers and the minority community. We wanted to bridge that gap. So it was two things. We want to help the community look at the officer a different way. At the same time, in the department, we want to help the minorities get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And we formed 415 to do those two things, to form a study group to help the people in the police department get promoted. And at the same time, to form alliances with different people in the community to see how we can help the community be better. And one of the things they liked for us to do was to come and clean up their parks and spend time with the kids. And every now and then, until COVID hit, every year we would go out and we'd pick a specific park in the city and we would clean that park up. We would paint the lines on the basketball court. We'll take off all the glass and it'll be a community event. When we do it, we bring in the fire department. We tell local people, and it's to our surprise, a lot of people, residents came out and helped us. So we've been doing it every year until COVID hit. For the last 2 years, we kind of slowed down because of COVID, but we always did it every year. And every year we pick a different park and we go and clean it up and paint it. And we get the donations from all the members of 415, give us donations. And every now and then we get some outside donations from the public. But whatever we get, we put it to full use. And we're looking forward, hopefully later on this year, if not next year, pick another park to go clean up.
Yeah, we're talking with Sgt Carlos Romain, going beyond the badge, learning a little bit about him as a 27-year veteran of the Syracuse Police Department. Do you think that because of the efforts of Camp 415, that things have changed enough that people feel that they're getting promoted and that they're being looked at fairly? Do you think that the efforts of your group has had a lasting impact, or do you think there's still more work to be done?
Well, there's always more work to be done, but our group did have an impact. I'm sergeant now because of 415. And I'll tell you this, there's only 3 minority African-American sergeants in the police department right now. And we were all recently promoted in the last 4 or 5 years. And if it wasn't for 415, it would not have happened. I'm 100% positive about that.
Right. And, obviously, the group is still active. I know because I know the firefighters have a group focus. I think they came before you, right?
I am not certain who came first, but we were very aware of them. And with the fire, that's one thing I meant to say. When we do the cleanup, the fire department comes out with us too.
Right.
They come out and assist. So a lot of times we just bring in everybody. And right before COVID hit, the year before COVID, we had a nice gathering, just a big picnic. And it was called basically Mercy Personnel Festivity. So we had the fire department, the ambulance, and ourselves. And we played games and everything. And it was just more of getting everybody together, working Mercy workers to get together. So in that case, we just did a nice little celebration. It wasn't a clean thing. We gave away prizes and we had a good time. But we always deal with the fire department, the ambulance, and all the Mercy workers, any volunteer we can get. But the fire department has always been part of our group.
So,
and also probation and parole also gets involved with us too.
To help out. Last week, you were at Juneteenth. I guess I met you, but have I met you before that?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I have. So, just remembering and, trying to obviously, if you've been in the church for so long, I've probably seen you at something.
I've seen you a lot of events. I used to watch you with the senator all the time on TV.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with you.
Yes, the WC, right.
Yeah.
And let me just say, he's only familiar with me because he's watched me on TV. I haven't had to go downtown, but that's also how do we improve the community? You said earlier that some people aren't kind or they're not particular. Some phrase that you use around reception of police in the community. We're still struggling with that. Obviously, a lot of recent events in locally and nationally causing concern around this police community. How do we get that right? And you talked about some of the ways we do that, right? You're in the community, you're helping out, you're in the neighborhoods. What more do we have to do to improve the reception of police in our community? You're in the community.
Well, like I said, one of the things they try to do right now is tell the police officers to live in the city. And that's a good thing, because even though myself—
You like that idea? You like the idea of that?
Yeah. I like that idea because originally I tried to buy a house in the city and the banks didn't approve my loan. I had to find a house out in the county, and that loan got approved. But that's
interesting.
That's 20-something years ago.
Yeah,
that's 20-something years ago. Originally, I was trying to buy a house in the city, and sometimes officers don't live in the city, not because they don't want to. Sometimes the loan's not approved. But that was my case. But I had wanted to live in the city, but I spent so much time in the city, even though I don't live here. And it's not because, I don't want to be in the city. No, I spent all my time in the city. All my kids were born and raised here. And I spent so much time in the city. Even when I leave work, I'm right here. And it's like, I might as well just live in the city because it's just a little short commute, but it made no difference to me. I'm just so involved in the community. I'm in the city 7 days a week. So when I leave work, I still come back for church. I still come back for cleanup. We may have to be cutting the grass. We may be doing a cookout, and there's other things I'm involved in. So I'm always back. You see Juneteenth out there all day, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm always back here.
I'm gonna make you laugh. And I know if you go to Holy Temple, you are here a lot.
Yeah.
I know that's for a fact.
That's for sure.
But it's all about visibility, right? I mean,
yes.
Juneteenth was successful last weekend,
yes.
right? A new location for this year. Hopefully it's back in Clinton Square next year. We'll figure that out. But what was that like for you to see Juneteenth? Obviously, we had the federal holiday this week, and also to be in community, and also to see this affirmation of pride of our community, of Black pride in our community.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was so glad to be part of Juneteenth, because Juneteenth has always had a negative, connotation that it's going to be some type of violence or fight. And we made sure nothing didn't happen. And we try to tell you, but that's not always the case. Like, in the church, I'm around 200-300 people. Because of COVID, we limit the amount of people that comes into church. You have to call in, you have to take the COVID test. So it's a little different now. We do a lot of Zoom thing too for those. So those that don't come to church, they're on Zoom. Those that come, they come. So we alternate how many people can come, because everybody can't fit in the church now because of COVID.
Right.
So I'm used to being around 200-300 people of color all the time, and nothing happen.
Right.
So when I'm around Juneteenth, I feel the same way. It's just the perception that's been happening over the years.
Yeah.
And one of the things we make sure is the younger people that would come in, that would cause these problems, a lot of gang affiliations and hard feelings, and sometimes they have dispute that they already have from the outside. Then they come to Juneteenth, and two different groups will have dispute from the outside, but it had nothing to do with Juneteenth. They just so happen to meet at Juneteenth, and they bring their dispute to Juneteenth. So that's what happens a lot of times with the violence. It's not Juneteenth itself. It's just the people that come, the clientele, and they have a beef or a problem with somebody else, and they just take it out there when they see the other person. And that's what sparks the violence. So what we did this time is we had the T-shirt security, and we had the people from the community that knew the troublemakers. So as soon as they seen the troublemaker, they notified me and some other people, and we just watched them carefully. And some we asked to leave because we saw they was going to create a problem. We had one fellow that was immediately almost taken out, because you could see when he came in, he had no shirt on.
I saw that guy.
Yeah,
I know exactly
yeah.
what you're talking about.
He had no shirt
I
on.
know who you're talking about. And I said,
Okay,
okay, I
yeah,
know who you're talking about. I saw that. Yes.
yeah,
And
but
I was actually going the other way from that. I was like, okay,
right,
what's up?
yeah,
What's up with this dude? I
right,
know
right.
what you're talking about.
So we treat everybody nice. Cause
Right.
maybe he didn't have a shirt on. He was hot, but we waited until he started acting up, and then we quickly exit the door.
So he delivered on his promise, huh?
Yes, yes. And then we had those that's smoking marijuana and everybody's trying to enjoy themselves. And we quietly whispered in the ear, not today, please. And yeah, and it worked out good. So a lot of stuff
So
that we
just
did.
take it over there somewhere. Like, but right. I
Exactly.
see what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying.
Like
Yeah,
everybody's here to hear the music. Please put the weed smoking away. Some people have, asthma and things like that. So just another time. Then no
I
problem.
know.
They put it away. So we're good.
Listen, I was in New York this past week.
Mhm.
I think that's the official scent now because it's so
Yeah.
out, right?
Right.
But look, it's legal, right? So what
Well,
it
that's
is
another
legal,
thing
right?
because
Is
they
it?
made it legal, right? But it's just like tobacco. It's
Right,
legal, but sometimes people still don't want the smoke on them. So we
right,
ask them,
right,
it's legal. We just not smoke. The person next to you has asthma, and
right.
they might start sneezing. And that just out of courtesy.
I
So
realize
mhm.
and I realized, and so I'm glad we talked about Juneteenth. But it's funny when you said this guy came in, I was like, I know exactly who you're talking about because that was Friday, wasn't it? It was Friday night,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I'm just for the audience purposes, this guy did come in a
Mhm.
certain kind of way, and so like walked because the way that he was kind of. One more thing. So
Uh-huh.
I don't think we got into your hobbies. You like to give away. What else? What do you like to do? Church. You're active in the church. You like to do things to give out. What are some other hobbies? What's your favorite food to eat? Like,
Okay. Well, some other hobbies too is I'm an electrician.
uh-huh.
I'm an electronic technician, and I'm also a car mechanic, but not as great as a car mechanic as I am an electrician and electronic technician.
Uh-huh.
I have an electronic degree. Also, my favorite food is anything besides spicy food. I like, chicken, fish. I don't like spicy food, but I eat just about anything, the pizza, the chicken wings. But I like healthy food. Now that I'm older, and my mother, she told me a lot of things. And I'm starting to listen to her now. Eat an apple a day, and fruits and vegetables, and eat all the natural things that's easy to digest in your system. So I stay away from a lot of the red meats and things now. So a lot of white meats and fish and chickens I eat right now.
Yeah, an
And
apple a day keeps the doctor away, they say.
that is
Right.
that's a true saying. That's a true saying. And
What do
then
we?
also eat the apple with the skin because it's got a lot of vitamin K in it.
Yeah, eat the apple. In fact, if you put it
It
in the
does
smoothie, they tell you to
yeah,
put the whole apple, including the mother,
yeah.
or the seeds and everything. Sergeant Carlos Romain, you mentioned earlier all the stuff you're doing in the community, and I'm not sure what we did about how do we improve police community relations. What do we have to do? You said living in the city is one thing. What do you
But
need from the community? How do we rebuild the
the
trust?
community right now is respect and trust. A lot of times, especially in the Black community, they'll tell their kids, don't trust the police, don't talk to the police, and don't tell the police anything. So a crime happens, the kids see what happens, we ask them, and they don't tell us anything because they don't trust the police. Sometimes the kids get mugged.
It's indoctrinated, right? It's like
Right, right.
that's
Sometimes the kids
right.
get mugged or they get molested or whatever, or robbed, and then we ask them, they won't talk to us.
Even if
And
they've been victimized, right?
that's correct. They feel like they're snitching, but they have to learn to trust us. That's what I try to do. And because I had to trust a lot of community members, a lot of time when crime happened in the city, I can get a call about a shooting, a stabbing. They'll tell me where the person is, where the gun is at, and they'll tell me where the person's hiding with the gun underneath the bed. They did the shooting.
Well,
And
and
that's
on
how good rapport I have with the community.
Sergeant Romain, they may
Mhm.
trust you, but it may not trust another officer. So
Well,
how do we
that's
get
correct.
okay? So how do we get all of the officers to build that trust with the community?
I think when they have more community events, like let's say Juneteenth, if we have like a sporting event, the police, like Brandon Hanks are doing, playing
Right.
basketball with the kids, trying to do things with the community and involve them. Like when we do a cleanup, we involve the community. the sport program I think they're doing right now with Mr. Oliver. He's doing a great job trying to bring us together with the community. And actually, what he's doing, I was part of that when I was raised up in Brooklyn with the PAL, Police
PAL,
Athletic
Police
right.
Athletic
That's been
League.
going on a long time. And that helped me, feel better with the police, because I realized they're here to protect us, and they didn't always here to hit you in the head with a knife. Just do the right thing and you're good. And I think a lot of times they need role models. And that's one of the things that's hurting right now is the role model. And I think the police, not just being involved during work, but after work, just do things like go to the libraries and do tutoring, like I did. I found out one time I was working at the library, I was working overtime detail there, and there was a kid having a math problem. That's what got me started in the tutoring. The librarian asked me, Romain, are you any good at math? I said, well, yeah, I'm pretty good at math. I did just about everything but calculus. He said, well, can you help this person? And for me, I found it easy. And I realized when a person, once you enlighten them and show them that concept, they're just as smart as you are. And some person, you have to teach them one time, some person 2 times, some person 10 times. But once they get it, they're just as good as the person that got it the first time. Just people have to be taught different ways. And I think with the police officers, they have to just try to show the human side and treat everybody with respect. Don't call people names, and respect everybody, because some people may have different colors, different background from different places, but we're all human, and we all had no choices in being what color we are, where we were born, and how we were brought up, what family we were born into. And I think once you get that in your mind, you start treating everybody different. And I think it's a big thing called respect. When people feel like you respect them, they'll give you that respect back. And I respect everybody, regardless of where they're from and everything. And that's why I get along with all the community. And I even have the Nepali church also in north side Syracuse. I'm good friends with the pastor, and I see him just about every other day. And I kind of like stay in that area. So it's just not just the Black church I'm involved with. I'm also involved with the Nepali church also. And when they need things, I help them out just like anybody else.
Well, Sgt Carlos Romain, I don't know when he sleeps. You ain't talk from Brooklyn, New York, by way of Syracuse, Syracuse Police Beyond the Badge, Sgt Carlos Romain. And obviously this segment brought to you in partnership with the Syracuse Police Department. Thank you so much, Sergeant Romain, and keep up the good work. And we'll see you. We'll see you out there. Oh, one thing by the way, I did see that you also are responsible for the crossing guards, right? So if people.
Oh yeah, well, see, there's additional duties that I do. I do the crossing guards. I do the security at City Hall and City Hall Commons. I do, all the red tags in the vehicles, and I enjoy what I do. I have a good boss that gives me a lot of autonomy. Yes, I am charged with crossing guard, and that's a lot of people. There's 55 of them, and they give me a lot of input. So that's a lot of people in the community that I'm involved with. So
do you need more of those crossing guards?
I need at least 10 more crossing guards, because I have one got hit this year. About 3 of them retired on me, and I was short 6 crossing guards. So I need 6 crossing guards. The only thing is they have to live in the city, and I will hire them starting in August. If they want, I can give my number. If I'm right, I'll give them my number here.
Go ahead.
So they can call me. I'll give you my direct line, 315-448-8647. They can call at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
315-448-8647.
Yes. I need about 10 more crossing guards for this upcoming school year, and we will hire them, male or female.
315-448-8647. Sgt Carlos Romain, 27-year veteran of the Syracuse Police Department, going beyond the badge here on Inspiration for the Nation.
Thanks for having me.